Hello, welcome to the Max Down podcast, and I am your host, Tofumi Talabi. And on this platform, we bring to you truth unfiltered, stories unheard, and truths untold. So you could leave your comments and suggestions, and if you would like to be a part of this in any way, you could send a message to me on Twitter and Instagram at Tofumi_II. Thank you for listening. This is going to be another amazing interview, and I have a baby girl, a baby girl right here. And before I talk about what we're going to be properly analyzing and pouring our hearts out, I am going to do a small introduction. So, my guest is somebody I worked with early this year. We practically worked for like a month.
It was actually a month.
A month,
it was just 1 month.
It was just 1 month, and then we had like an amazing connection. So she was partnering with me, like we're co-hosts.
Yeah.
And we were doing this program on radio. I'm not telling you where we were working, please. If you know our Instagram pages, you should have known us by now.
Check that out.
Thank you. So we were working together, and then we just had this amazing sync. I don't know how it was, but we were great. From there, we became friends, and then I told her about this, and she's like, "Oh, I could have something to talk. I have something to say," and I'm like, "Okay, thank you." Okay, so Aaliyah, please introduce yourself.
Okay, you already said my name, so all right. All right, guys. My name is Aaliyah Adeusi, and I am what now? I am so many things.
Writer.
Okay. Yes, maybe. Should I still say writer? Because I can't remember last time I wrote.
I know.
Okay, but maybe I could still pass for that. I'm a little bit of a writer. I am, should I say, the totality of a communicator? Yeah, in a sense. I'm a communicator, and I'm an integrated marketing communicator. Yes, that's it.
Okay.
Integrated marketing communicator. That's what my job is, actually. It's advert, it's public relations, it's marketing, it's branding, and all of that kind of stuff. But don't let me bore you what I do. But most importantly, I am a communicator, and that was how and Tofumi got to work together.
Yeah.
Well, what else should I have to say about myself?
I think that basically does justice. Okay, so you know what the podcast is about, and I would like you to share 1 or 2 experiences or things that
Real life issues.
Yeah, real life issues that you had to deal with.
Okay.
And then most importantly, how you walked through it and how it made you who you are today.
Okay.
And it's just like everybody has stories, right? But getting and responding to whatever is happening to you currently or has happened to you, and how you were able to manage the situation is like pretty important.
Definitely.
And most people are still suffering from their past mistakes and they've not been able to overcome or walk through it. So from what you told me, right, it seems like you have. So I want you to like talk to us about it. Start from the basics. Please be explicit. I like amebo, I like gist. You should know me by now. You should know me. So I'm sure that people that are listening will want to know more. They want to know the inside of the stories and everything. So I want you to do that.
Okay, where do I start from? It's a whole lot, but I'll just find a way to, should I say, make everything make sense. Yes. Okay. Basically, I'm going to be sharing a story of my childhood, my background, basically growing up, and parents, family, basically. Okay, so like I said, my name is Aaliyah Adeusi, and okay, let me just, my family, I don't know how to still describe my family, but let me just say family of 4. I have an older brother, just a sibling, an older brother, and my mom, and then my dad. My dad isn't in the picture anymore, so I could just say a family of 3. That's my mom, my brother, and myself. And should I say where we are today? As for the 3 of us, we are a team. Yes, a team, and before we could get to this point, before we could reach this particular point, it was a whole lot. And it's more like we shutting out the past and just about the future, about now and about the future. Well, like I said earlier, a family of 4 and now a family of 3. I didn't lose my dad. My dad isn't dead. But you know the way the things are. You know how these things happen. At some point, separation, divorce, and all of those kind of things. But mine was separation. That's for my mom and my dad. And at times I'm like, how do these things happen? How do families? I don't know, because it's like 2 people get together and they decide to fall in love. If it was those days where our forefathers would, should I say, merge, or what's that thing? Betroth one person to the other, and then you say that, okay, fine. But funny how it was those marriages that actually worked out. I don't know why, I don't know how, but those marriages worked out. And the ones that found each other and decide that, okay, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person, you find out that there are a lot of breakups these days, and different things happening these days. My family wasn't an exemption of things like that, and it was horrible. And I think it is just what it is, that at the end of the day, it is the children that are the receiving point of a terrible marriage. Well, maybe the woman, she would definitely get her own fair share of the whole of everything, the whole bus. But at the same time, maybe they feel like the children, I don't know what they think when things like that happen, but maybe they feel like the children shouldn't, or maybe because they are young, they don't really have anything to worry about. It wouldn't affect them that much. But from my own personal experience, I would say that the children actually get a greater share of a terrible marriage because it never leaves. From being young, seeing the things you see in your family, with your parents, it never leaves. It stays with you almost forever. And if God blesses you, you come out of it to an extent. I mean, you kind of move on, you find yourself and you move on. Though should I say, the thought of it is still like really fresh in your head.
Exactly.
But you just find a way to move on, because God, only I can say that only God can give you that kind of healing, because it's not something that you wake up and then you're like you're good and stuff. No, only God can actually give you that kind of healing and compensate you with maybe good people around you, and at the end of the day compensate you with a good family, so you don't have to have a repetition of what you went through
before.
in your childhood. My dad was, or is, he's still alive. My dad is a very I call him Idiami.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, I call him Idiami. Those very terrible presidents. He was an authoritarian, and how he treated his people and all of that. Trust me, I know what I'm saying. When my dad was, or my dad is, it was unimaginable. It was kind of person that I still sit down today and maybe I get flashbacks and I'm like, how would someone do that? How would someone be like that? Because I can't wrap my head around it till date. And at times I just want to believe that he wasn't in his right mind, or maybe there were some forces against him. Because I literally grew up, but even while I was so young, I was used to the sight of violence. I was used to the sight of violence, and I mean it in every sense of the word. I mean, with my parents, my dad, hitting my mom every now and then at the slightest, little stupid things that you would be like, okay, was that necessary? Or maybe he's had a bad day and then he comes home and is looking for the slightest to just hit. And I feel like you could just yell, get angry, and maybe, but no, it would actually really hit. And I remember different things. There was this time that this one is really fresh in my head, because there was this misunderstanding. He was really angry, and then he took my mom's hand and put it by the door and was slamming the door on her hand.
Wow.
And I remember different sites like that. The times my dad he's huge, so there are times he would carry her and use her back to continuously hit the edge of the wall.
Oh my
so
God.
those were like things that I remember vividly. And I was really young. I'm telling you, really young. I'm telling you about 4, 5, but I can remember those things because I saw those things. Do you get? And I'm like, how? Me, look at my body now, even till date, smell around me. So I would never get too close. I just always sit down at the stairs and, just stay there. I don't say anything. My older brother was the one. My older brother is 2 years ahead of me. So remember, I said I was really young. So if I was like around 4, it was around 6.
Yeah.
So it was still also very young.
Yeah.
But there's no how things like that will happen as a guy. You would want to.
Like
Daddy, stop,
intervene,
mommy, please, all those kind of things. So it was always the small little man in the middle trying to, so it would definitely get some bars, because whether knock or slap
or get away from here.
Yes, those kind of things. But he would always be there trying to, do whatever his body and his little strength could do. But me, nah, I don't need to go chop slap.
You just leave them.
No, I just leave them. And I find it really amazing that I can laugh about these things now.
Yeah.
Because there were times that if I ever have to, not like it's something I would always want to talk about, but if I ever have to talk about it, it definitely used to make me cry. Like, really used to make me cry. But it's funny how, I still feel like it did happen, but it's not something that makes me cry anymore. At all. It doesn't make me cry anymore. And I just really thank God for healing, because before I could get to this point, I knew what
you had to
and it affected me a whole lot.
I know.
With education, with my social life. I was very naive. I was naive. I was scared of what I don't know. I was scared of everything. I was scared of the dark. I was scared of people. I felt like anybody could harm me. I was scared. I remember there was this time in Pt.1, I had this sit partner who was a guy. It was my seatmate, and he used to bully me a lot, and I felt like he had the right to bully me. He used to beat me for my seatmate. He used to beat me, and I felt like he had the right to beat me because I felt like, yes, I don't know. I just felt like he had. I don't know why I feel like, or I don't know why I felt like that. But I felt like he had the right to. School was scary especially because of him. He was my seatmate. Do you get? So going to school was scary because I know my seatmate might beat me today, and I didn't report him to my class teacher. I didn't tell any. As a matter of fact, I feel like this is the first time I'm talking about it. I didn't tell anybody about it because I felt like it was just the right thing. It was just the normal thing. Like, there was nothing wrong with it, but it scared me. And I didn't talk about it. Academics scared me. People scared me. Everything was scary.
It was just like you're working on glass.
Yes, everything was scary. I don't know. I was naive. I was disturbed. And then my health was terrible. I was like this. Any little thing, honestly, any little thing, I would end up in the hospital. I could be on admission for like a month in the hospital. It was that bad. I could be on admission for like a month in the hospital. And anytime I'm on admission, it's literally always life and death.
Yes.
Like, it's always the kind of sickness that, my mom would be like, please. Like, you get those kind of things. So I was a disturbed child. Honestly, if anyone would tell me then that I'm going to turn out to be this person today, I would say no, because I wouldn't have seen the hope. I wouldn't have seen the light. I wouldn't have seen the possibility of me turning out to be this kind of person. And, about a couple of days back, I was just saying to myself that I can imagine my class teachers from primary school. If they see me today, the kind of impression I'll be like, this girl, how are you? That kind of thing. But this girl used to be very dull. I can imagine it. And then I'm like, if only they would know that, okay, I've turned out to be this person. Because I know by university, I was acing I had good results. I had good grades. And I'm like, the switch. And I'm like, only if they would just be, know how I'm doing now. Because I don't know if any of them still remember or try to remember the student that they taught in primary school, or student that they taught in general. And then, know that, okay, this one was really smart, this one was quite dull and all of that. But it just crossed my mind a couple of times, and I'm like, well, I just thank God, because it can only be God. The growth can only be God. Primary school was dark. I failed horribly. I don't know how I made it through primary school, and I made it through primary school even at a very normal. At my, I think the normal age for finishing primary school was probably 8, 9, thereabouts. Yes, it didn't affect my age. I mean, I finished the normal age. I didn't have any delay. I finished the normal age, but I know that I was really dull. I know that I was really dull. I finished the normal age, got into secondary school. Secondary school, just 1, just 2, just 3. I struggled. I wasn't close to being the brightest student, but I struggled. But I think it was fair to an extent. But getting into senior secondary school, I don't know what happened. I don't know where this. Maybe because I found my place, art. But there was always this general assumption that art is for the dull ones, science is for the smart ones. Yes, but art for me was art in every sense of the word. Art was deep. It was life. It was beautiful. And where you get to do literature, you get to do government, history, but it was the literature for me. It was literature that I always looked forward to literature class because I felt like I could actually be myself, express myself, like I couldn't even scratch my own surface. It was very beautiful. And then the teacher that was taking the literature, it was exceptional. It was an amazing man, and it was the kind of person that he had the relationship with us as a student, and it was beautiful. And even as a matter of fact, the teacher today, I think is one of the people, the teachers that taught me, that actually impacted me in a very, and I don't know, I can never pay these people back, but in a very beautiful way. And even till today, it still reaches out to my mom. My mom, she still talked about it, like every month. It doesn't miss it. You will always send her a message to wish her happy new month and all of that. But that's not the case. My point is, that was one teacher that I can say helped me to a great extent. You might not know it, but it helped me. Maybe with his analysis of literature. I don't know how, but those are the people that helped me. Another person that really helped me was a corps member that came to my school to serve, Ola Osibodo. I can never forget him in my entire life. Ola Osibodo, it was a copper, and they put him in charge of literary and debating society. So it was meant to be the person that was going to help us, see us through debates, competitions, writing, oratory, and all of that. And he helped me a whole lot. He brought me out of my shell. He made me face the crowd. He made me express myself. He did a whole lot. It wasn't easy for him. I knew, because there were times he was frustrated, but he did it. He helped me. He made me face the crowd multiple times. He made me find my voice. He did a whole lot in restructuring me. Do you understand? And I'm really grateful to him. I don't know. I've searched for him on Instagram. For some funny reasons, I can't find him, and I feel like he's a ghost. Or maybe it was just God that just sent him, because I can't find him anywhere. I searched for him on Facebook. Then when I was on Facebook, I searched for him on Instagram. I can't find him, but it's just someone I want to say thank you for doing this for me. And a couple of people that I know really impacted me. But the whole point is that childhood wasn't easy. It was I don't know how to I don't really know how to express it so much, but it wasn't easy. My dad was very, 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 very violent, honestly, and it wasn't even about the violence alone. It was about the fact that it felt like nobody could challenge him. He had lots of girlfriends. I knew them because times I would have to go. He has a store. So times I would have to go to a store, you won't miss it. You'll find a lady there. Be like, you would know. He's not someone that would hide and be like, maybe my family is coming. Nah, my dad wasn't like that. He doesn't fear. He would tell you he doesn't fear anything. He's not scared of anybody. He's not scared of anything. And that's one thing that I feel like people should look out for. If you're with someone or you have a friend or whatever that is not scared of anybody, then you should be scared of that person. Because a person that is not scared of anybody can do and undo. And it means that it means that they don't have a weakness. It means that when they are crazy, there's nobody that can tame them because they are not scared of anybody. They should at least have a weakness that you should know about. So that was the problem. It wasn't scared of anybody. It was just who it was. It was crazy. And there were times that we would be together. It could be in the sitting room, and he'll pick his girlfriend's call and have a proper conversation with the whatever that he wants to say to his girlfriend. You know what you would say, and you know that okay, that's you just spoke to you. He would say it. My mom might be there, maybe she, whatever. He doesn't care. He would do whatever he wants to do. He can, as far as go sensual over the phone, over a phone conversation. My dad doesn't care. He was that kind of person. It was, and I remember times that with growth, as we grew, he had this thing with my brother. It was horrible. I don't know why. Maybe because my brother used to support my mom a lot, so he had this special hatred for my brother. It was crazy because I remember there was this time, I can't remember what my brother did, but he beat my brother to the point that we had to lie. My brother couldn't go to school, so we had to lie that he had an accident, like a terrible accident, because of the way he looked. He looked like someone, you know, when someone steals maybe
market.
Yes, and the way they will beat the person.
Yeah.
Because he had lots of black spots on his face.
Wow.
When I saw my brother, because it happened at night and nobody could go there and my mom couldn't go there, so we were just downstairs and we could hear the noise. He was using all sort of things to hit, and there was blood. Like, you hit your child to that point, there was blood. And when I saw my brother the next morning, I could not believe my eyes, because that wasn't my brother. His head was a different shape. I'm not exaggerating it. I swear, his head was a different shape, and I'm like, okay. My mom was, in fact, it was terrible, and for weeks he could not go to school. And when he finally went to school, because he had deep cuts, and if you see my brother, look at his hand, he still has that scar. It was a very deep cut. And you know, when he finally went to school, they had to tell him to go back home. That was after weeks. They had to tell him to go back home because it felt like it was not
okay
to come to school. And finally, you know, when he finally went back to school and he still had to, you know, go to the school clinic every once in a while for checkup. And the nurse, because he came back on to tell us, was like the nurse told him, like she sat down to talk to him, and she told him to come out to her because this didn't look like an accident. That what happened? Who beat him? Because of the when you
beat someone.
Yes, the black spots and all. She was like, this wasn't an accident, and it was still claiming that it was an accident. She was like, she would probably have to tell the school authorities because this wasn't an accident. It was so obvious, and whoever beat him like this should be arrested, or maybe he did something. You know, different thoughts. Did you steal? What could this be? Why would someone beat you this much? Are your parents aware? Do you understand things like that? And then it was like he had to tell her that it was his dad that beat him like this, and she was like, and she was like, your dad beat you like this. And I really can't remember, but I know that it ended there. Obviously, it was your dad that beat you. Like, who am I to come?
Yes.
But it ended there, and a couple of people knew in school that these children. Do you understand? I remember. Let me say fast forward to when we had it. Myself and my brother actually had to sit my mom down to like talk to her, because we're like, this is going too far. Like, we can't do this anymore. If you can't do this, we are tired. We can't do this anymore. We need to leave. We need to leave this man. It's just crazy. We spoke to her. We said a lot of things. We were young. I was in SS. Was it SS3 or SS2 at that time? And my brother was done in secondary school. My brother finished secondary school. My dad didn't let him go to the university.
Why?
Let me ask him.
I cannot see him.
He didn't let him go to the university. So, you know, it was crazy. My mom had to make him do A-levels. So they wouldn't just, you know, sit around and all of that. I remember getting admission into different universities, but my dad was, I don't know, I can't explain it. So my mom made him do A-levels. So we just had to, we talked to her, we said so many things. And my dad had this friend, Uncle Julius. He had a wife that was close to my mom. So I think that was the good part. His wife was, she was this very, how should I put it? She was this very calm, nice woman. She is a Christian. So I don't know how my mom found this connection. So they kind of got close, and they used to talk, and that was how, she knew what my mom was going through, and she told her husband. Her husband is older than my dad. It's actually, that's why my dad calls him Uncle Julius. Everybody calls him Uncle Julius. He was an older person, so that was how he knew what was going on. And they had to call my mom to talk to her. My mom told him everything. He tried to talk to my dad, and he saw that there was no hope. So he told my mom that she should leave, that he would personally advise her to leave. So with what we had told her as well, so we just knew that, okay, we were all going to leave. So we had to plan something, and the plan was basically for us to go to the hostel. For me to go to the hostel, my brother to go to the hostel as well. And since he was doing A-levels, for him to go to the hostel as well, then my mom would run away. So that was the plan. Getting to the hostel, I had to go meet the director of my school then to help me take a letter that hostel was compulsory. I was going to SS3. That hostel was compulsory for students in SS3. And since my brother was doing A-levels, you know the way A-levels is, that hostel too was compulsory. I came up with it. I don't know. It had to be God, because it wasn't easy. He didn't agree to it initially, but somehow he budged and went to the hostel. And I think it was like the second week my mom ran away from home. Fortunately, that's one thing I feel like as a woman, you have to be strong.
Very.
You can't lay about. You can't be weak. As a woman, you have to try as much as possible to. It's not a competition to, the old feminism thing, to be stronger than the other sex and all of that. But you have to be strong. You have to be very, very strong. You have to be rugged as a woman, because as a woman, I feel like we fight more battles than men. There's so many battles to fight as a woman, and from your career, from family, to so many things in life that you have to deal with as a woman. So I keep saying it, that if my mom was careless from the start, maybe she wasn't taking her job serious, and maybe she was the woman that was lavish and was always squandering money, then I don't know where we would be today. I'll probably not go to the university. I don't know where I will be today. I don't know where my brother will be today. Because, after everything, after she ran away and I was in the hostel, I was still in communication with I was still in contact with my dad. And it was just me. It kind of got nice. Maybe he knew that, okay, my mom had left. So it was going to be who would have to keep who at the end of the day. So he got nice to me at that time. He would always come to my hostel with gifts and stuff. I chopped life that time. He would always come to my hostel with gifts and stuff. But me, I already knew that if you would die. You live with my dad. No.
Okay, so it's a wrap on the first segment of this episode, which represents Aaliyah's story. And to get proper information and full detail on the story, on how she was able to pull through with her family through the situation on ground, you have to keep it locked in on the Max Down podcast. Thank you so much for listening so far.